Hello everybody, it's Chibi, and today I'm going to be doing a manga review on Berserk Volume 5. Now, this volume, as always, quality 10 out of 10. I want to get that out of the way. Let's just get up past the artwork. The artwork, 10 out of 10. I've said my thoughts and opinions on the artwork multiple times about this series of how Kentaro manages to display the emotions and vibes from the Pacific panels. That definitely was displayed in this volume once again. So, looking past the artwork, let's try to go and dive in deeper on different things that happened in this volume. The Minotaur. Oh my god. Oh, dude. I was wondering where the demons were. There was no demons last chapter, or last volume. There was no demons at all in that last volume, volume 4. And when I was reading this volume and they're like, there was no demons, I'm like, oh my god, did demons not exist or something at this timeline? Or did the Behelit open up a portal and cause demons to come out? I don't know, because there was a strange lack of demons in this series until this volume I read. And I'm like, oh my god, this Minotaur reveal is really freaking creepy. So, in this entire volume, pretty much we find out about this creature, this Minotaur that's called Zodd, whatever you want to call him. I'm just going to call him Zodd. Now this Zodd, pretty much, he has been battling for 300 years in different wars and trying to find a human worthy enough to face him. And right there, it really sets up some pretty interesting things because Guts comes around and literally just fucking starts going ham against him. And you see how he has no chance in hell against this creature. And I love how Kentaro managed to give the vibe, feel, and theme of this entire volume. For instance, when you saw that Minotaur introduced, okay? It was like the entire display of power. Like, for instance, Guts is powerless against demons. Demons are on an entirely different plateau compared to humans. They have stronger strength, vitality, stamina, stuff like that. And Guts realized this in the middle of this fight without actually saying a word. For instance, I was able to understand what was going on in Pacific panels without Guts saying a thing. And right there, it goes back with this volume, this volume 5 of Berserk, goes back to the earlier volumes, volume 3 and 2 of Berserk, and pretty much when we saw the Count transform into the demon mode, he's like, haha, Guts, you think you can actually fight me while you're a silly human? Us demons go past your power and stuff. So clearly, Guts has done something after this point. For instance, right now, he's just a regular human. But he has yet to get that big sword he has. I think his sword's completely different. The sword that he has in the first couple of chapters. And so, I wonder exactly how has Guts been able to fight demons. For instance, clearly, Guts actually did pretty good against the Minotaur. I mean, he was getting raped. Let's just be honest. He stood no fucking chance against the Minotaur. But the thing is, okay, clearly there's a big power difference between demons and humans. It's completely obvious. There's a massive power difference, and they make it clear in this volume. So how does Guts get the ability to fight these demons? How did he get the ability to fight the Count? Because, I mean, just because, there's certain demons that are probably weaker than others, okay? Let's just talk about that. Let's be real here and be honest. The Minotaur, from my eyes, honestly, seemed a lot weaker than the Count. The Count had regenerative abilities to where he could regenerate. At the exact same time, he had a big wider mass to where he could attack Guts from all different directions. And so it made it a lot harder. And so, personally, from my perspective of reading these different chapters and volumes, the Minotaur was weaker, from what I could see. He just had a lot of brute force. Now, how does Guts get this ability to fight demons? And now, I specifically have been told by a bunch of you Chibits that he's just a human. He is just a human. So, I'm going to Fury Craft real quick, okay? Fury Crafting. I'm going to take a guess and say that there's something wrong with his sword. He's called the Black Swordsman, okay? Black Swordsman, usually when you get a title of something badass of that quality, you've done something. Of course, he travels from mercenary band to mercenary band constantly. Guts has done that. It was shown in the 3-year time skip that happened in this volume. But the thing is the only way I can see how Guts is able to fight these monsters and creatures now is through his sword. His sword, I think, might have some demonic elements or power to it. Okay? That's what I'm going to put up right now and guess at, because that's the only reason. I mean, there was a lot of hints in this entire volume, in last volume, which I failed to mention, where you see Guts training his arm to be able to wield like a one-handed big fucking broadsword. So, it clearly shows that he's trying to train. And you see the training of how many months and years he's been training his arms to be able to use big-ass swords. Like, he's been doing it since he was young. It was a trait of his, as a character, to use these big swords, and he's been doing it at a young age. And so, I'm just, curious, though. I'm just curious. Is it Guts just OP? Is he OP and that badass that he doesn't need any demonic, help or any extra, extreme qualities with his sword to be able to kill demons? Or is he just that badass? See, that's the big question I'm throwing up now. Now, looking past that, I want to get on to the different topics of this entire volume. Casca. Okay, I made a Fury my last volume review. I said she is going to probably be the major keystone of what is going to happen later on. And then we get a prophecy this volume, which is kind of obvious. I kind of expected as much this would happen because I did theorize it last volume review. Pretty much the prophecy we got is that when this Minotaur looked at Griffith and saw the Behelit, the Crimson Behelit, he specifically gave it a name, this Crimson Behelit that, the Minotaur saw, clearly he says, oh, the God Hand. And he's like, I see your ploy now. And he grows wings, busts a hole in the roof, and he flies. And so, Griffith is a human, from what I can see. Because clearly from this volume, Griffith at the end of the last chapter of this volume states that, oh, so there is demons. So there's a higher plane of existence that are higher than humans. And so, Griffith, oddly enough, does not know about demons. So it makes me believe that Griffith is not a demon. He could be a descendant from demon blood. I don't know. I mean, he was the fucking God Hand 2 volumes back. So, I'm just going to take a quick guess, okay? Either the Behelit gave him the power of the God Hand, or the God Hand gave him specifically that Behelit to turn him into the God Hand. I don't know, because that Behelit is a big, important thing, as we know that was revealed. And for a demon, I'm guessing a lesser demon, to run away from a God Hand, or a to-be God Hand, for instance, someone that's not a God Hand yet, it makes me question and wonder why. For instance, if you were a weaker demon, okay, like the Minotaur, even though he's not weak in physical strength, let's just be honest here, he'd rip me in half, but if you were a lower class demon like a Minotaur, and you saw a God Hand, okay? Before the God Hand got the powers, protection, or whatever, the boss fucking repel barriers that, Griffith did to Guts a couple volumes back, you'd think the demons, out of their greed and evil, would attack a God Hand. Or is it because the God Hand has such absolute control and rule over the world that even any demon will fear any person that most likely can become a God Hand? I don't know. And then, if this Minotaur wants to help out, okay? Guts, for instance, gave a prophecy to Guts. He used his valuable time and told Guts, while Griffith was unconscious, to tell him that, specifically, that if you're his true friend, and his ambitions fail, you will surely die, or death will follow you, or death is coming for you. Pretty much what that means is that the Minotaur took his time to warn Guts of something that was happening. I mean, if I was in Guts' position, okay? And I saw this unnatural, human creature, this demonic form, this demon, for the first time ever in my entire existence in my life seeing a demon like that. And when the demon looks at a specific object on a person, for instance, Griffith, that you've known for a long time, Griffith's had extraordinary strength, he's been a person that has a complex character, you don't know what he thinks, he could be a child 1 minute to an adult, and then you see this Minotaur say to him that you need to be weary. Death will come after you if his ambitions fail. I would honestly be fucking scared, because, I would actually believe the demon, honestly, I would, because, why would a demon fucking run from a powerless humans? So, yeah. So, the big thing is, it was a lot of setup in this entire volume, and I'm guessing this is the point to where a bunch of people that told me to skip the first beginning chapters wanted me to skip it for this specific point, because I guess it spoils the entire, prophecy. Which, in my eyes, it really didn't spoil it, because I actually enjoyed this chapter. I really fucking enjoy it. I have a lot of hype right now, really do. It's really interesting seeing how the series is really starting to shift gears and everything's starting to crank up, because I'm loving the development and the pacing this series is being wrote as. The manga Kentaro that's actually wrote this series did a damn good job at dragging in the readers, because I am being dragged into this manga series, and I love it. I really love this series. Now, I personally want to say something real quick. Casca, let's get back onto her, because I actually didn't talk much about her. Casca As I said earlier in this review, I said that she was going to be the keystone of major events, because in this entire volume, I noticed Kentaro the manga clearly wrote her in this entire volume. I noticed Casca was used as drama, or I guess to start up infighting between Guts and Casca, because clearly ever since the beginning, Casca has shown that she really does not approve of Guts as a character, or as a person, or whatever, and so, clearly, Casca does not like him. And I feel like this drama that's being built up between these two characters are going to eventually lead into something really bad in the future. Something very bad. Because at first I was making theories that, you know, Casca and Guts were going to get together. Because, I mean, if a girl usually like Casca, okay, is constantly bitching at Griffith, okay? Or not bitching at Griffith, I mean bitching at Guts because of Griffith. You'd think that she's going to fall in love with him. Which, it's still possible. It really is. It makes me believe, though, I feel like the sacrifice that's going to be done in the future with the Behelit, probably to have, you know, Griffith turn into the God Hand, is going to be because of Casca. It's obvious. It really is obvious, and I'm willing to bet Guts probably loses his entire arm in that entire event to probably try to save Casca, or save Griffith. I don't know. I don't know what caused the events, but I'm curious to find out what is going to happen. Now, the thing is, okay, with this, it really shows you how complex of a character Griffith really is. Like, in this chapter, I noticed Kentaro specifically wrote, you know, Griffith as a character that you couldn't tell what he was thinking. He did not know exactly what he was going to do next, because he always seemed to be the level-minded person that was able to be a tactician, strategy, and plan battlefields. Like, plan out different things and tactics in a battlefield. And the thing is, Griffith went out of his way, out of normal way, to save Guts. So what makes Guts so different from everybody else? That's the big thing, okay? I mean, what makes Guts so different as a character that besides being able to fight, I guess, mano against Griffith, what makes him so different? Why would Griffith take his time or his effort to save Guts? And also, I do want to mention one more thing. Guts, as a character, I'm really loving him, because one reason why, I noticed he really takes in perspective about debts. For instance, when he owes someone, he remembers it, even for years to come, and he will repay it someday. And it clearly shows in this chapter, this volume. You see it, because he constantly says, you know, I owe you one, or I owe you two now, stuff like that. So, here's the thing. With the way this is being wrote and built up, I feel like since Guts does owe Griffith, and when the entire event comes down to when the Behelit, I'm guessing, summons the God Hand, I feel like Guts as a character might let it happen because he owes Griffith one. I don't know. I mean, or he can break his rule or something. I don't know. I don't know. But personally, I enjoyed it. It was a good read all around, and I have not much more to say. I mean, it was just really awesome. I love getting to see the fights. I love getting to see the gritty freaking drawings. Oh my god. Okay, let me stop the drawings. I don't want to talk about the freaking the art, man. I'll be talking about it for fucking hours, because that crap is so freaking beautiful. Oh, okay. So, you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Tell me your thoughts personally about this volume. Volume 5 of Berserk. Let me know. I'm finally done with the Golden Age arc, and now I'm into the Master of Swordsman or whatever. I think that's what it's called. This arc is called. Tell me your thoughts about this arc. Tell me your thoughts about this volume. And personally, how do you feel about these freaking events that are going around Guts' life? So everybody, I love all of you so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.